What up, duty doodas? Um, so I was thinking today, I was like, how can I get better at Rocket League? Question I often ask myself, rather than just spamming the hard ranks out there. I like to play casual as well. I also like to train a lot. One of my thoughts was to kind of mimic how people learn when they study for a test in school, like a basic memorization test, if you will. I can't even hear the audio right now. That should be fine though. I think I might have my sound off. Let me check this. I don't know why the sound just defaults to off. There we go, I can hear now. But anyway, yeah, so thinking about how people study for a test at school, it's like, let's just say like a really basic multiple choice test. They might go through the potential questions that might get asked, right, as they're studying. If they don't know an answer, they'll mark it and come back to it later, right? And then they'll just say that they have like 40 potential questions or something, right? They'll just go through all of them, questions that they have. They'll have like some of them down, no problem. Then like maybe half of them they'll have a little trouble with. So they'll mark them, they'll come back to them later, and they'll basically just keep repeating them until they have all 40 potential questions and answers memorized. I was thinking about how this like kind of translates to Rocket League. And you could think about like every situation as a test, right? So if the ball's right here, right, say I want to double this off the wall, for example, right, that was a test, right? And did I have the muscle memory to execute that on command in that exact moment, right? A potential, like, just a basic air dribble coming up this wall here. Woo, I'm going a little slow just for the sake of this example, but like, do I have the muscle memory to execute the air dribble? Or again, ground to air dribble here, right? All these little situations that pop up, or jumping off the wall, right? Maybe scoring a goal right here. All these little situations that pop up require a certain like mapping of muscle memory that's similar to the test, right? You either can do or you have trouble with. And I think the problem in Rocket League, especially people who like to maybe just play ranked, just spam ranked, or even if people play free play, I have no idea why I'm backflipping right now. Even if people who play like free play, I know it's like highly recommended to get better, you got to play a lot of free play, is that people just tend to stick with stuff they can do and just do that over and over again. And they don't necessarily tackle those questions that they don't know, right? Those questions there, as you're studying for the test, right, that you need to come back later to get. You don't get them on command. For the people that just queue ranked, it's like obviously you don't want to do those questions because you're going to mess up and that's going to result in an error that might lose you the game, right? Or people who do free play, it's still just like you wanna feel good in free play. You don't want to be messing up, so you're gonna just do stuff you're good at, right? But anyway, that's kind of the basic premise of this idea here, and it also comes down to I think you guys can't see the Bacchus mod overlay. I don't think so. It's not showing up on the recording screen. But there's a plugin called the Free Play Checkpoint plugin. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Here's a setup here. That's a pretty decent execution, right? But here's the Free Play Checkpoint plugin. You see I can just freeze time here, rewind. I can replay this exact situation over right here. So let's say that was like a little air dribble here. That I was pretty good muscle memory for my takeoff here. Can set the checkpoint right here. Do this again. Let's say instead of an air dribble, I want to go for like a flip reset or something, right? See, I got the flip reset, but I couldn't. It was not very. That wouldn't have probably been a very good shot in game because I got the flip reset hella late. My flip didn't even end up hitting the ball. Can reset the checkpoint, and this is like mimicking the test now, right? So I failed this answer. Let's come back to it later, and then as a way to come back to it later, maybe we slow down the game speed. There's this new feature in here. See, now I'm at 95% game speed. Another bad takeoff. Let's slow it down again. Let's go down to 90. And I'm going a little bit, not doing a good job of, there we go, that's better. It's not 90, right? That's pretty good right there. Let's see if I can do that again at 90 speed. Not the best takeoff. So like again, like all this stuff is like I might be able to do it, but how consistently can I do it as well? So that's a little different than like the school example of, you know, the multiple choice test, maybe a double here, tight angle. Let's try again. So I'm not getting great takeoffs right now. I'm getting a little bit too under the ball. I was too far away from the ball that time. It's a good takeoff. Get the flip and couldn't execute. So it's clear to me, even at 90% speed, right? I'm not consistently going to answer this question correctly, right? So maybe we turn it down even more. Let's go to 80%. Let's go for a double here. Sometimes, depending on your takeoff, right, certain things might not make sense anymore. Like, that's decent here. So you see at 80% speed, that was a complete whiff. I mean, theoretically, the slower you go, right, the more consistent you should be. Let's go for a double. Miss that. Double again. Skip that one. Go in. Boop, boop. So yeah, so it seems like 80% speed, I can maybe get a decent play like half the time. I don't know. Go in. That wasn't a great takeoff. And a lot of this like comes down to having a good takeoff as well, like having a great first touch on the ball that allows you to actually do things. There's an empty jump there without boost. Trying to just play around with different takeoff timings here. Right, so you can think of this as like, okay, this is now a question on the test where I might feel a little bit more comfortable for it. So let's go back up to 100 aim speed now, and we'll just play around a little bit more again. And the idea is to kind of mimic like you actually have opponents here. So try to jump off the wall. Again, that wasn't a very good play, right? So maybe we go back here in time. It's a very realistic situation where maybe I try to go for 2 touches here, right? Rather than just 1. It's a little bit of a tricky area. So I jump off earlier there. Get another touch there. Not bad. Not great, but definitely could be worse. That's horrible. And it's also like kind of working on reading. Yeah, I should be able to get 2 there. Yeah, I want to see if I can get a flip into the ball and follow it. I feel like that'd be pretty nice. That's not bad. And ideally, like I'm slowing down a little bit too. Like I might not have time to slow down in game. So you got to keep that in mind as well. A lot of people when they train, I feel like go a little bit slower. Like you have to imagine an opponent's rushing at this ball, and you don't really have time to slow down at all. You got to maintain supersonic. Try for one more there. That might be a decent play. Don't slow down. Yeah, I don't know if I can get 2 touches if I don't slow down. And that might be fine. Like, it kind of makes sense, you know. Maybe you can only get 2 touches if you hit the brakes just a smidge, which makes sense. Like, you might not have the space to go for 2 touches in an actual game. You might just have to, you know, hit it hard. And I can't even hit it hard. Like, so you can see, like, this is a test question where, again, it's like 50-50 if I get a decent ting off of it. Go for 2 here. Like this is another good situation here. Let's say this happens now. It's like ideally there's going to be at least 1 defender, maybe 2 defenders. I guess this situation where maybe I just beat 1 person, right? Hypothetically, a 3v3 game. coming down in here, and I have a chance to beat a second defender that might lead to a goal, right? So let's do a checkpoint here. That's a decent play. It's a little slow. If I boost down, it might give me a little faster. So that's a little, again, that's a little bit slow. Ideally, I get like some sort of pinch. I'm getting a little bit too underneath the ball. That's a good play too. I like hitting it over the net because that's gonna get followed up by my teammate there, right? We still have the play's not dead yet. So ideally, like you go fast or you hit it high and over. I think are the two best options here. Or you just score it, but that's probably gonna get blocked. Yeah, I can't really get that takeoff Rice. It's tough when the like that's a pretty good play. That's gonna be tough, I think, in that situation on the defense. But yeah, you can kind of like understand the. That's probably pretty good as well. That might get cleared, but maybe a little bit higher and a little bit more over. Come on. Yeah. High. That's good. Like, there's no way a defender's that's going to be followed up by my teammate for sure there. So you can kind of see, like, kind of what I'm talking about, right? Mimicking this real world test scenario of, like, how each of these little situations in Rocket League is like, is a question on a test, right? And it's like, do you, I guess, one, like, know what to do is kind of one situation, like, what is the best option there? And then kind of the more important, like, mechanical question is, do you actually have the ability to execute it? And I don't think you're ever going to be able to, like, 100% be able to execute the best option every single time. But at least do somewhat, like, consistently, especially in training, like in free play. If you're getting something 50% of the time in game, you're probably only going to get it like 10% of the time, right? Or even 5% of the time, just because training's easier. And there's also like what I was saying with the training as well, like pretend like there's an opponent racing to beat you to this ball, because that's going to be much more representative of in game, right? Which will be more bang for your buck for your practice. But anyway, hopefully this makes sense. I think I'll try this training tactic out, see how it goes. I've messed around with the free play checkpoint in the past, and it seems to work well. I'm also a fan of reducing the speed as well, just to help ingrain new movement patterns into your muscle memory. I've noticed I've had pretty good success with both those training techniques in the past, as opposed to just like, I'm never really like a big fan of doing the rings maps or the workshop maps, or just like mindlessly hitting the ball around in free play. Because again, it's like, yes, you're learning how to do something, but what you're learning how to do is not necessarily a new skill that's going to help you in games, if that makes sense. Anyway, hope this was interesting, and yeah, if you want to try for yourself, I hope you find success with it. But yeah, have a great day.